We start the day's other headlines with events in the Middle East. The U.S. Department of Justice has filed criminal charges against several top Hamas leaders in connection to the October 7th massacre. They include the group's leader, Yahya Sinwar. There are 7 charges in total, including conspiracy to murder U.S. nationals and conspiracy to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization, resulting in death. In a statement, Attorney General Merrick Garland said the individuals, quote, have led Hamas's effort to destroy the state of Israel and murder civilians in support of that aim. In the meantime, Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv for a third straight night to demand their government strike a deal with Hamas to secure the release of the remaining hostages in Gaza. U.S. officials today said they're working on a new ceasefire and hostage proposal with their Egyptian and Qatari counterparts, and they called on Israeli and Hamas officials to reach a deal.
There are dozens of hostages still remaining in Gaza, still waiting for a deal that will bring them home. It is time to finalize that deal. Ultimately, finalizing an agreement will require both sides to show flexibility. It will require that both sides look for reasons to get to yes, rather than reasons to say no.
Meantime, the World Health Organization says its polio vaccine campaign in Gaza is exceeding expectations. More than 161,000 oral vaccines were administered during the first 2 days of a 10-day operation, as Israel and Hamas adhere to a planned pause in fighting in specific areas. The WHO hopes to vaccinate a total of 640,000 children overall. At least 12 people are confirmed dead after a boat carrying migrants capsized in the English Channel. One official called it the deadliest migrant disaster in the waterway this year. Rescuers say they pulled 65 people from this rough stretch of sea. Investigators believe the majority had come from Africa and were trying to cross from northern France to the UK. Today, France's interior minister blamed overcrowding for the disaster.
Vous comprendrez que là où il y avait 30 à 40 personnes.
You must understand that while there were 30 to 40 people on these boats in the past, small boats with small engines, today there are 70 to 80 people on the same boats. So what probably happened is that this boat collapsed on itself very quickly.
The minister also said that most of the passengers weren't wearing life vests and that 10 of the 12 victims were women and girls. The White House today condemned the arrest warrant issued by Venezuelan authorities for opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez, calling it unjustified. Officials in Brazil, Argentina, and Peru have also slammed the move. The warrant accused the former presidential candidate of various crimes related to the results of the disputed July election. They include conspiracy and falsifying documents and stem from the country's opposition publishing vote tallies online that showed President Nicolas Maduro actually lost by a wide margin. Gonzalez's lawyer said publishing those tallies did not amount to any wrongdoing.
Mr.
Edmundo Gonzalez had nothing to do with collecting copies of the tally sheets, digitalizing them, and uploading them on a web page. This was a civic, citizen action of witnesses at polling stations accredited by the National Electoral Council.
Venezuela's election authority and its Supreme Court have certified Maduro's alleged re-election, but have provided no proof of his win. Here in the U.S., federal prosecutors have charged a former New York state official for acting as an undisclosed agent for the Chinese government. Linda Sun and her husband left a Brooklyn courthouse this afternoon after pleading not guilty to charges that she used her position to help Chinese authorities in exchange for millions of dollars in compensation and gifts. Sun worked as deputy chief of staff for New York Governor Kathy Hochul. She also held a position in former Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration. In a statement, Governor Hochul's office said that Sun was fired last year due to, quote, evidence of misconduct. The city of Phoenix has set a new milestone as it grapples with long-running summer heat. On Tuesday, the city hit 100 degrees for the 100th straight day. That is far beyond the prior record of 76 consecutive days. Temperatures climbed to 102 degrees on May 27th. They haven't cooled since, and there is no break in sight. The forecast calls for unseasonably high temperatures this week across the western U.S., with an excessive heat warning lasting through Friday. And on Wall Street today, stocks plunged to start the new trading month on renewed concerns about the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average sank more than 600 points to close below 41,000. The Nasdaq tumbled more than 500 points as shares of big technology companies struggled. The S&P 500 also ended sharply lower on the day. And at the Paralympic Games in Paris, Team USA raked in more medals, including 3 across the day's para-equestrian categories. Among them, Rebecca Hart and her horse, Florentina, put on a golden performance at the Palace of Versailles. She bested the favorite, 6-time Paralympic champion Natasha Baker of Great Britain. Meanwhile, on the track, sprinter Jaden Blackwell posted his 2nd world record of the Games, winning gold in the men's 400 meters. And Ezra Freck continued his golden run, topping the podium in his classification's high jump final. Still to come, on the NewsHour, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson reflects on her path to the U.S. Supreme Court. And teachers and shopkeepers take up arms in Sudan to defend their country against a rebel militia.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.